The early years. Where it all began, Sarah and I grew up in a typical suburban household. Our parents, both teachers, were loving but strict, with high expectations for both of us. Sarah, being 4 years older, was the golden child at first, smart, artistic, and always the one to set the example. I idolized her as a kid. She'd draw these amazing sketches and I'd beg her to teach me, but she'd usually brush me off saying I was too young to get it. I didn't think much of it then. I was just a kid who wanted to be like her big sister. The first sign of trouble came when I was 10 and Sarah was 14. I won a regional spelling bee and my parents threw a little celebration at home. Nothing big, just cake and some family friends. Sarah didn't say a word during the party. Later, she told me I only won because the other kids choked and that I wasn't that smart. I was crushed, but didn't tell anyone because I didn't want to seem like a whiner. Looking back, that was the start of a pattern. By the time I hit middle school, Sarah was in high school, and her resentment started to show more clearly. I joined the debate team and did well, earning a few trophies. Sarah, who was on the art club, would make snide comments like, "Debate's just yelling with extra steps. It's not like it's art." When I got my first A+ in math, a subject she struggled with, she told me I was just sucking up to the teacher. It stung, but I kept trying to win her approval. I'd invite her to my events, share my achievements, hoping she'd be proud. Instead, she'd either ignore me or find a way to twist it into something negative. Our parents didn't help much. They'd praise us both, but if Sarah was upset, they'd tiptoe around her. Once, when I got accepted into an honors program, Sarah stormed out of dinner, and my mom spent the rest of the night comforting her instead of celebrating with me. They'd say things like, "Sarah's just sensitive. She'll come around." I started feeling like I had to dim my own light to keep the peace. When Sarah went to college, I thought the distance would ease things. I was wrong. She'd come home for breaks and act like I was an intruder in her house. By then, I was 16, starting to find my own confidence. I had a tight group of friends, a part-time job at a coffee shop, and I was getting scouted for a scholarship in marketing. Sarah, meanwhile, was pursuing a fine arts degree, which she loved but was clearly stressing her out. She'd talk about how competitive the art world was, how hard it was to get noticed. I sympathized and tried to support her, liking her posts on Instagram, even buying one of her paintings for my room with my own money. But it was never enough. One incident stands out. When I was 17, I won a small scholarship for a marketing competition. My parents took us out to dinner to celebrate, and Sarah spent the whole time on her phone, barely speaking. Later, she posted a cryptic tweet. "Some people get everything handed to them, while others have to bleed for it." My friends sent me screenshots asking if it was about me. I confronted her, and she admitted it was, saying I always got the easy path. I tried to explain that I'd worked hard, staying up late to prep for the competition, practicing my pitch for weeks, but she just rolled her eyes and said, "Whatever, you wouldn't get it." By the time I started college, Sarah had graduated and was struggling to find steady work. She moved back home, which I think made her feel worse, seeing me head off to university with a clear plan. I tried to keep things light, texting her memes or asking about her art, but her responses were either one-word answers or passive-aggressive jabs. Like when I got an internship in my sophomore year, she said, "Must be nice to have a job lined up before you even graduate." I stopped sharing good news with her after that. My career takes off. Last year, I graduated with a marketing degree and landed a solid job at a mid-sized firm. It's not a dream job, but it's stable, pays well, and I enjoy it. My boss noticed my work ethic and gave me a small promotion after 6 months, which came with a raise and more responsibility. I was thrilled but nervous to tell my family, knowing how Sarah might react. At a family dinner last fall, I shared the news. My parents were overjoyed, and my dad even toasted to both his girls finding their way. Sarah didn't say a word. Then, as we were clearing plates, she muttered, "Guess some people just luck into everything." I couldn't let it slide anymore. I asked her what her problem was, and she snapped, "You act like you're better than me because you have some fancy job. Not everyone gets to play it safe like you." I was floored. My job wasn't safe. I'd clawed my way through internships and interviews to get it. But before I could respond, she walked out. After that, Sarah's behavior got worse. She started posting vague, bitter stuff on social media. Things like, "Funny how some people think they're the star of the show," or "Hard work doesn't matter when you're the favorite." Our mutual friends started asking me what was going on, and I had to pretend I didn't know. It was humiliating. I started avoiding family gatherings where she'd be, but that only made my parents guilt trip me, saying I was dividing the family. Mom's 50th birthday. Last week was the final straw. It was my mom's 50th birthday, and I wanted to make it special. I spent weeks planning, booked a caterer, rented a tent for the backyard, made a custom playlist, even designed a photo slideshow of Mom's life. Sarah didn't offer to help, which I expected, so I didn't push her. I just wanted the day to be perfect for Mom. The party was great at first. About 30 people showed up. Family, friends, neighbors. I was running around making sure everyone had drinks, the food was out, the music was right. Sarah showed up an hour late, barely said hi, and sat in a corner scrolling her phone. I tried to include her, asking if she wanted to help with the cake or give a toast, but she just said, "You've got it handled, Miss Perfect." Near the end, Mom pulled me aside to thank me. She was teary-eyed, saying how much the party meant to her and how proud she was of me for pulling it off. It was a sweet moment until Sarah overheard. She stormed over, face red, and started yelling in front of everyone. "Of course it's always about you! You planned this whole thing just to make me look bad, didn't you? You always have to steal the spotlight." I was stunned. I tried to say it was about Mom, not me, but she wasn't listening. It got worse. She started listing every injustice she felt, how I got better grades, a better job, how Mom and Dad obviously loved me more. People were staring, some trying to intervene, but she kept going. Then she said it. "I wish you'd never been born." It felt like a punch to the gut. My mom started sobbing, my dad looked frozen, and I just stood there shaking. Sarah grabbed her purse and stormed out, leaving the party in ruins. Guests left early, and the night ended with my parents trying to comfort Mom while I cleaned up alone. Where we are now. The next day, Sarah texted me not to apologize, but to double down. She said I'd provoked her by flaunting my life and that I needed to stop acting like I'm perfect. I haven't responded because I don't know what to say. I'm hurt, angry, and exhausted. This isn't just a fight. It's years of her resentment boiling over, and I'm done being her punching bag. My parents are making it worse. They called me the next day, begging me to let it go and be the bigger person. They said Sarah's going through a hard time and that I should understand her side. But I have tried to understand. For years. I've downplayed my achievements, avoided talking about my life, even stopped posting on social media to avoid setting her off. Nothing works. They keep acting like this is normal sibling stuff. But it's not. It's toxic, and it's breaking me. I talked to my best friend who thinks Sarah's jealousy comes from her own struggles. Sarah's still living at home, piecing together freelance art gigs, and hasn't had the big break she expected. I get that it's hard, and I've tried to be there for her, offering to share her art on my socials, even suggesting we take an art class together to bond. She always shuts me down. My friend suggested Sarah might need therapy. But when I gently brought it up last year, Sarah laughed and said, "You're the one who needs help if you think you're so great." I've started questioning myself. Am I actually doing something to make her feel this way? I don't think I'm perfect. I work hard, but I've had my share of failures too. I just don't broadcast them like she does. And I can't keep living like this, tiptoeing around her feelings while she lashes out. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.